Hi everyone, today I'm going to demo for you this new tool that I've created that helps me to import sprites into my game engine. So first of all, you create a new file with this tool, and then you select an image file. Now this image file is basically just an image that contains all the sprites you wish to work with. And luckily, a lot of people online have ripped a bunch of sprites from various games, so these are very easy to find. And so after you've pulled in the image file, all you have to do is actually just to select the sprites in the image that you wish to work with. So I'm going to select all of these, and I missed one. And notice that I'm selecting only the sprites that are pointing to the right. That's because the game engine automatically flips the sprite when you're facing left, so I don't really need all these other sprites. Okay, so I've selected all these sprites. Now, so you can see that it's found all of these, and I can select different ones. And on the right hand side, when I select a sprite, these two panes up here change to indicate what I've selected. So the top pane is just the image that I've selected, and the bottom is what I call cells. And a cell is simply an image with a few other attributes assigned to it. These attributes being its name and its offset. And I'll get to that in a second, but first of all, let me cycle through all these sprites just by using this button here. And if you look to the left as I'm doing this, you'll notice that it's selecting them from left to right and top to bottom. And if I go down here and I use these buttons, they're actually sorted based on the name. Now they're all named the same thing right now, so this selection via these buttons doesn't really mean much. So after you've selected all the sprites you wish to work with, then you just have to name them. So let me go through all of these and start with this one. And this one is a standing sprite, so I'm going to name it that. Then this one is a running sprite, but it's the first running sprite, so I'll call it running 1. Then, whoops, this is running 2. And this is running 3. And as I'm creating this, if you look up here, these are now sorted based on the name, which is really useful because when I use these buttons to navigate, it's grouped all of the sprites based on the name, just because they're sorted. So let me go through the rest of these. This one is a crouching sprite. This is, skip that. This one is a stabbing sprite, but it's the first one, so let's call it stabbing 1. And select this one, that's stabbing 2. And this one is crouching stab 1. And this one is crouching stab 2. So that should be all of them. Now they're all named. So the next step after all of these are named is to line them all up. Now because they're sorted based on name, it's much easier to line them up. So you can see crouching and crouching stab 1 are lined up if you focus on the picture down here. But crouching stab 2 is not lined up correctly, so I can fix that just by using these buttons or using the keyboard shortcuts. Now if I switch back and forth, I see that it's still not lined up correctly. Okay, so after making those modifications, you can see that they're lined up correctly now. Now let's go to the running sprites. These two look okay, running 1 and running 2. But running 3 is not correct. When you compare running 2 and running 3, you can see that running 3 is too far to the left, so I'll shift it over. And let's compare them now. So you can see his head lines up correctly. Okay, now stabbing 1 and stabbing 2 aren't lined up, so let's fix that. And there, now it's fixed. And then standing is correct. Well, let's shift it a little. And there we go. So now they're all lined up, and I can save this. So let's call it johnrambo.cell. I already created one, so let's replace that one for this demo. If I close this, I can open it up again. And here's johnrambo.cell. Open it, and there we go. All those changes I made are still in there, and everything is lined up. Okay, so that's a really simple example because there's only a few sprites that I have to work with. Now let me show you an example where there are many sprites. So let's choose Axel from Streets of Rage. Now you can see this one has many sprites and you can scroll through them all. For this demo though, I'm just going to focus on this special move. So again, as you can see, when I select him, a bounding box is created that completely envelops the sprite. The way that happens, the way that works is that I've written an algorithm that basically searches based on where you click until it creates a bounding box that contains only the sprites within the character. Now you can see it's not perfect because it missed a portion here, so let me delete this one that I've created and try again. So I can select delete and I'll get rid of it. And if I select over here, now it's got it corrected. So that's just a bug, but I can fix that. Okay, so I've pulled in all these special move sprites, and now let's rename them as we did before. So here's the first one. I'll just call it Special 1. And where's Special 2? Here's Special 2. Here's Special 3. And Special 4. And finally Special 5. So you can see they're all named correctly. And now let's line them up. So let's move this guy over here so that his right foot lines up correctly. And then the same thing with this one. So 1, 2, 3. That's pretty good. 4 and 5. So I'll go through these slowly. Let's move them a bit. And that looks pretty good. So let's save that, axel.cell. Place the old one. And there we go. So you got two demos there that show how this game engine works. Or rather, how the sprite editor works. So I pulled in all these different image files. And if you look through them, you'll see that they're pretty large. So that's one downside with these, is that you have to go through each one of these manually and line them up and so on and name them. But with this tool, it makes it a lot easier because it's just a matter of clicking, naming, aligning, and that's it. So that's the end of that tool. And so after this stage, what actually happens is I use this other tool that animates these sprites, and that tool is basically just a text file converter. It takes this text file that describes all the animations and converts it to a binary file, which then gets pulled into the game engine. So then the game engine knows what animations to play back when you hit punch or kick, or when your character is hit, or when he's falling, and so on and so forth. So thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll have another demo up soon that uses all these characters that I've pulled in using this new tool, and I'll put it up on my YouTube channel. Alright, thanks.